The president at Barker Weber Insurance Agency, Dan Weaver.
Mr. President.
Mr. President.
Yeah, good morning.
How are you?
Excellent, excellent. It's been a fine Monday morning so far.
Yeah, this weather is kind of like, what's it like going in to lead an office when the weather is just miserable every morning? Do you do a little speech for everyone, get them going, or are they good?
No, honestly, we're pretty fortunate. We have, our lead receptionist, Karen, is about as bright and bubbly as they come, and it's hard not to just have some spark of energy after you encounter her in the mornings.
Yeah, the energy when you walk into Barker Weber, you're greeted sometimes by 2 or 3 people. It's like family there.
Yep, we try to make sure everybody feels welcome when they walk through those doors.
How long have you been there?
12 years.
Wow, it flies by, doesn't it?
Yeah. You really got me thinking there. I'm pretty sure it's been 12 years now. Mm-hmm. It's been a while.
So you know everything there is to know, the ins and the outs?
I pretend to. There's a lot that goes on. I'm definitely not an expert in everything that we do and touch, and so that's why we are very fortunate to have great staff.
Yeah, you have a great team, and it seems like every few months I'm hearing about someone I know that's come on to work with you and grow that great team. Why is that so important? And a lot of the people that you hire, they're so involved, right, outside of just work. Talk about kind of growing that staff and creating that culture. Yeah,
we need a great staff because we have great customers. They expect a lot from us. We try to attract very ambitious people. There's always something to learn in our industry. The industry is always changing, whether it be from legislation or just from customer offerings. Insurance can be very complex, and so it takes a special person to really dive in and understand it, and then be able to effectively communicate it to a customer so it can be understood.
Yep. So you work with a lot of businesses.
Yep.
Is there like a niche or a size that you specialize in?
Not really. I mean, we don't work with any businesses that are over 500 employees.
Okay.
But whether it's your mom and pop retail shop or a manufacturer or a contractor, an excavator, we work with them all. We have different people. We've got quite a big staff, and so we've got some people that might have some certain niches. Mm-hmm. We have we kind of leave it up to the individual, the employee or the agent to kind of figure out kind of where they're going to fit.
Yeah, and you guys get involved heavily with some of these businesses, and because of your experience, you may have seen things in the past that can work for certain businesses, and then I think about a small mom and pop or a startup. A lot of questions.
Lots of questions, and there's a lot. Like I said earlier, insurance can be very complex, and whether you're talking about their business insurance like workers' comp or property insurance, then you get their benefits and what they're offering their employees and helping them retain their employees. And so being able to effectively be able to go in there and be part of their team is very important to us, very important to our customers, because it just, it's kind of a value added. It's not just kind of walking in and saying, hey, here's insurance.
Yeah.
Being able to explain what it is they have and making sure it's particular to them and their needs.
We just revisited something, key person?
Yep, key
insurance policies on your business partners. And just like your homeowner's insurance, you should be looking at that and making sure you have enough to actually cover in the event of a total loss, kind of reevaluating where you're at in your business and,
all the time,
and what you would need to do to financially cover the loss. If somebody were no longer there. And that was something I felt like a really big girl. It's not something I would have ever thought about.
And especially the last, I'd like to say the last decade, but even the last half a decade, business valuations have changed a lot.
Yeah.
And so making sure you have, proper coverage, I'm sorry, but, you go through underwriting for life insurance.
Yeah.
We tell a lot of people, consider applying for more than what you think you might actually take, because you have to anticipate some of that growth and going back and trying to revisit it and redoing it later when we're a lot of times older and maybe not as healthy can be a little more challenging.
Yeah, it can be.
Now, Dan, actually, you are the leader of one of the largest families I know now, because you have 3 kids. I don't know anyone.
Huge.
I don't know anyone with 3 kids other than you. Congratulations, you just had your 3rd.
Thank you.
Welcomed young baby Tess.
Yep, Tess. She's been beautiful so far.
Aww.
Just under 3 weeks old.
Yeah. So Dan and I play golf together, and he calls us about an hour before we're supposed to golf and says, "Hey, I can't make it today,"
Nicest day of the year.
Oh.
which is a beautiful day to have a baby.
Yes.
It is, and bless my wife's heart, she's very sure to make sure I get my
Yeah.
time,
Oh,
right?
Mandy's
so
lovely.
we're sitting there in the hospital, and the baby didn't come right away, and she even looked at me and said, "I'm really sorry," as I'm looking
Oh,
out the window, and
geez.
I'm like, it's okay. There's
Yeah.
more important things to deal with in golf.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are
Especially when you golf like I do.
Especially when you play with the 3 guys you play with. You're not
Yes,
missing out.
yes, true.
what do the other 2 kiddos think of Tess?
They love her. We have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they both just look at her and say, "Oh, she's so cute." Our 2-year-old Zoe, she loves little baby dolls,
Yeah.
right? And so that's actually been one of the concerns, is that she's gonna try to pick up new
Yep.
baby Tess and think she's a baby doll. But they've been great.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
It's awesome.
Yeah, been very blessed.
So, you grew up here.
Yep.
I grew up here. You grew up here. Kind of, I would say the 3 of us grew up in the era of, you got to get out of Jackson, right? You got to
Yeah.
get out of Jackson. You did. You came back.
Yep.
I mean, Jackson now. I mean, where would you rather be? Just talk a little bit about kind of going away and coming back, and then are you seeing more grads locally stick around?
Definitely seeing more people stick around. There's a lot more to offer here in Jackson than, I graduated from college in 2007. Definitely had, there was a lot of appeal to kind of get out
Yeah.
and see what else is out there. And I lived in Dallas for 3.5 years. I loved it initially. I grew very tired of the concrete jungle, as I
Yeah.
like to call it, and I really kind of yearned for maybe a little more simpler life with some nature around. And also, I have a lot of friends and family here. Just being closer to them is very nice and helpful, especially now that I have kids. Looking at it, I have a fantastic support system, so I'm very blessed to be local. But yeah, Jackson has grown tremendously. Just looking around downtown, it's fantastic to be able to come walking around any time of the day and being able to stop in a multitude of restaurants and shops is really cool.
Yeah.
Well, and look at the lives that we've been able to build here too. I mean, I think that when you talk about quality of life, sometimes Jackson is overlooked, but we are so blessed and have such a great cost of living and green spaces. What are some of your favorite things to do in the area?
Well, admittedly, especially this time of year, in the summertime, I love the summer in Jackson. I love the lakes. I'm blessed enough to live on a lake, and so. But even just, whether it's just Jackson or Michigan in general, I'm also a lover of the seasons. So I love it if it's winter. I wasn't a big fan of this winter because it didn't really get very cold. We didn't have much snow. Most people love that. I don't. If it's going to be winter, I like it to be winter. But I love the seasons. And Jackson, I think, does a great job on the surrounding parks, the communities of, doesn't matter what the season is, there's always something going on, something being offered. And so it's been great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Plenty to do here in town. Looking forward to seeing you on the course when it warms up here in a week or so.
Hoping. Yes.
Hoping so. Dan Weaver, president at Barker Weber Insurance. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks so much.
More of the show right after this.